Do you know that Colombia now has a consulate in Nigeria? Great news here. And now onto the bigger news. Another Nigerian has just been appointed as the Deputy Treasury Secretary in the United States of America. All-round good news on today's edition of your favorite program, The Diaspora, which has been specially and exclusively packed just for you. And I bet you don't want to miss any of these. And I remain your host, Consular Adetumbi. Please stay tuned. The first ever honorary consular of Colombia to Nigeria, Her Excellency Honorable Maricel Romero Santillo, paid a courtesy call to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Please watch.
We're hoping that this avenue will enable us to create a strong partnerships in which the Nigerian community and the Nigerian descendants community in Colombia will be benefited equally as the Colombian community in Nigeria. So we're hopeful for the future. We're looking forward to strengthening our commercial ties. We're looking forward to strengthening our cultural ties, and we are very happy to have taken this step to be present in Nigeria with a permanent representation. So we are here to say Colombia is your home, as well as I feel Nigeria is my home. So I have to say Colombia is your home, and we want to see you taking ownership of your community in Colombia. We're hoping that it's a large one. We haven't had a diplomatic representation sitting in Nigeria. However, we have our ambassador in Ghana, which concurrency to Nigeria. She's doing a fantastic job, and it is because of her that I am here today. She really set her mind to say Nigeria is a place where we need to work harder in cooperating and in strengthening our ties, and that's why she initiated this process for me. So I'm very happy and I'm very grateful to her as well. So her name is Her Excellency Claudia Tobai. She's not here because of logistics reasons, but she's very happy and very pleased that we'll be able to move forward. Hopefully we'll be doing faster than we planned. So.
They just give us a council, they give us a very beautiful council. And I know you've been in Nigeria for years, so like you said, this is your home. So we hope that, as you said, we'll find subsequently Colombia a home. But I'm also sure that we have quite a number of Nigerian diaspora in Colombia. And with Colombia having an honorary council in Nigeria for the first time, is an opportunity to engage with Nigerians in Colombia and also have an engagement with Colombians in Nigeria. And I know that, although we don't know the statistics, but there's no way we don't have Nigerians and excelling everywhere in the world, including Colombia. So we look forward to that partnership. And we're also glad that we're doing a lot of things for the diaspora, because we believe it's about human capital development. We're glad about the announcement by the Central Bank of Nigeria that the diaspora can now have their money remitted to Nigeria in the foreign currency that they choose to. So if, for instance, you're remitting to Nigeria from Colombia, you get it in the foreign currency that you send it in. And I think this is very encouraging for diaspora investment. It's very encouraging for the diaspora who before, when they send money home, get it in Naira. So, and at the end of the day, they don't get, they even get short change, so to speak. So this is a policy that I'm sure will help all diasporas, and they're happy with it. And we also have in place the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, which they had expressed concerns about. Okay, so what happens when we do invest this money? So I think this is a very good policy by the CBN that is very encouraging to the diasporans. And we just appeal to the diasporans that when you do send the money in, you want to change, use the proper bureau de change, the registered bureau de change, not the unregistered one. So as you are here now, we send that message to Nigerians in Colombia that Nigeria is doing everything possible to make life easier for the diaspora and to have them be part of the programs and policies and development of their home country. So we look forward to working with you. And then, you know, Nigeria and Colombia, we have a lot of things in common. As culture, music, a whole lot of things in common, and like you said, it's just that they're in different languages.
Yeah.
So the world should collaborate culturally and in other ways. So we look forward to that collaboration with our people, Nigerians in the diaspora in Colombia and Colombians in Nigeria. And I believe that it's going to be a great partnership. And having you at the helm of our affairs, once more I congratulate you, and I'm sure NIDCOM looks forward to working with you, and a lot of collaboration that I believe we can achieve culturally, commercially, and in every other sense of the word.
Wow, congratulations, ma'am. We hope for a better collaboration between the two countries. And I hope you got the good news from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN's new policy to grant unfettered access to Forex from diaspora remittances. Kudos to the Central Bank of Nigeria for keeping the Nigerian diaspora at heart. Nigerians in the UK are the most successful immigrants, and if we could get them to utilize their Nigerian identity, they would be of more value to both countries. These were the words of the Deputy British High Commissioner to Nigeria during a courtesy call to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Please watch.
People in Nigeria are so brilliant, so big-hearted, and with such a great sense of humour. And I keep saying to people as I'm going around saying a few farewell calls that I know that I'm not done with Nigeria, and Nigeria is not done with me. And a big part of that reason is the diaspora. There's such deep roots and connections between the UK and Nigeria that I know when I go back to England, I will see people from Nigeria all the time. I'll be able to eat the food, I will be able to hear the music. So I'm really looking forward to keeping that connection with Nigeria. Remember Honorable at the reception when he said, "Niger no they carry last."
The Nigerian diaspora in the UK is very successful. There's people at the top of the city, of big law firms, in Parliament, the NHS, right across the top of society, basically. And some of it will be through the hard business debates and interactions, but also the fun side as well. Doing some of the sports personalities and the actors and the people who are proud of their Nigerian heritage. So I was really struck, show's time, at the Star Wars premiere. John Boyega was there in his full-on Nigerian gear, demonstrating his identity. And I thought that was great, and I want to see more of it. So anything we can do together to take that forward, I think would be fantastic.
Thank you very much. Definitely, we look forward to working with you in that regard. And, we believe that we are Nigerians and we're the best. And like you said, we're proud of our heritage, and whatever we are as Nigerians, our role is to ensure that Nigerians engage with the home country. And then, like the president always says, we are the #1 ambassadors. Imagine, look at John coming out with all the regalia, it was very attractive. And so beyond that, we have human capital, enormous human capital, our greatest resource. So wherever we are in the world, Nigerians have to excel. So I look forward to working with you in that regard, particularly as it relates to Nigerians and how we can empower them to go in that world.
Not so fast.
Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down. Do you have a job where you're going to?
No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Alinko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
The voice of Nigeria, VON, has expressed willingness to collaborate with the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission in sensitizing the public on the Commission's activities and noble achievements. This was made known during a courtesy visit by delegates of VON to the Chairman CEO of NIDCOM in Abuja. Please watch.
We're here to sit back and rub minds and see how we can take the NIDCOM to a greater heights. You've achieved a lot, but there's still more where I think we can work with you so that we can highlight your activities better. This is one of the biggest reasons why we should partner, because we need to enlighten a lot of people about what the Commission is all about and all the noble activities and achievements of the Commission. Because when there's no enlightenment, there's likely to be misinterpretation, there's likely to be misconception. But when people are properly enlightened, they are well informed.
This is our mandate of selling the positive aspects of Nigerians out there. We've had so many negative representation about Nigeria, about Africa. Time has come for us to tell our story our own way. And how do we do that? It is by relishing on some of the goodness of our Nigerians, because everything Nigerian out there is always in the negative. Meanwhile, we have so many Nigerians doing so well, developing other economies like in America and other countries. But yet, it is only that one single person who, by act of whatever sheer attitude, misbehave. They table more on that. But we've been trying our best to ensure that using our outfit, Voice of Nigeria, we tell our story in the way that, yes, it represents our country. And for the misgivings, like you mentioned, so many people might not understand what NIDCOM is all about. It is outfit like us who begin to let them know those pointers concerning NIDCOM. So that's why we came up, we said, because we've been doing this for some other agencies like that, we said it is necessary that we are supposed to be your strong partners, to talk to the people in the language they will understand, so that they will know indeed that, yes, NIDCOM has come to stay, and to help, to bring about the best aspect of Nigeria, not the negative that each person normally they keep hearing about us. And I stand firm to say that I've been so glad and so happy with the efforts of the chairman, because each time, even if you send her a test of some of the things you see, whether it's true or not, she goes into action. We've seen people who were held captive or kidnapped or in whatever form abroad, just on a social media where people do not even believe. I should look at it and follow it up. And before you know it, we hear that Nigeria has intervened. Those are the kind of things we want for our country. And these are the things that I know President Muhammadu Buhari will always want. Not always talking of, what government. There are elements that we ourselves can put to table and change the discourse about Nigeria.
Our mandate is to harness the Nigerians who are in the diaspora so that they contribute and complement to the development of Nigeria, our country. Now, we have to also be careful to define the word diaspora, because we've had all kinds of definitions that are not true. For you to be classified as a diaspora, you must have stayed at least 1 year outside the sovereign boundary of Nigeria, and legitimately. If you are staying illegally or as a tourist or as a visitor or as anything, you are not classified as a diaspora. You must have a means of livelihood and you must have an address. If you don't have an address and you are living outside, you are not also a diaspora. So diaspora is a product of legal migration. Any illegality means you are not a diaspora. And I give you an example. We have two types of diaspora. We have the historic African diaspora, those who went by boat. There are 3-4 generations. They've been there 400 years plus. We celebrated the 400th years of moving slaves from Africa, and especially from Nigeria to the Caribbean and the United States just in 2019. So we call them the historic African diaspora. They invest in agriculture, they invest in education, they invest in ICT, they invest in technology, they invest in our health system. In Abuja here, you can count 30 specialized clinics that are run by the diaspora. If you go to Garki Hospital that has been concessioned out, most of the medical doctors there are on 3 months, 6 months employment with the private sector owner. They come for 3 months and then they return to the US or UK. And there are many like that. They are into entertainment, they are into sports. Literally, there is no premier league club that doesn't have a Nigerian on its team. And in France, it's the same thing. In Italy, it's the same thing. So investments is one of the ways we are harnessing them. We are encouraging them either as individuals, as a small group, or as a big group to invest in the economy of Nigeria.
Kudos to NIDCOM and Voice of Nigeria. The Chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiribike, congratulates a Nigerian-born Mr. Adewale Adeyemo on his nomination by the U.S. President-elect Joe Biden as the U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary. NIDCOM boss acknowledged that Adeyemo's nomination is not surprising, going by the success he attained in the various positions he held. She also wished him a smooth, flawless Senate confirmation and unparalleled success on his new job. Mr. Adewale, aka Wali, was a former senior international economic advisor during the Obama administration, and he spent his career working with organizations that are at the intersection of public policy, the private sector, and non-profits, focused on creating economic opportunity. His nomination by the U.S. President-elect makes him the first ever black person to be the Deputy Secretary of the USA Treasury. Congratulations, brother.
By way of background, I've been a member of the UK Parliament for 10 years, and during that time I've served as a Justice Minister, Minister for Women and Equalities, and Minister for Sport, probably one of the best jobs in government if you love sport, as I do, and as I know most Nigerians do too. I was also a vice chair of the Conservative Party until February this year, and until I became the trade envoy to the Prime Minister as well. Prior to politics, I was a lawyer for 23 years, a profession that I enjoyed enormously. The trade envoy role is very much about taking global Britain's message out internationally. It's about increasing bilateral trade and investment between UK and Nigeria. And it's also about building on that strong UK-Nigerian relationship that I know already exists, but I know that we can develop even further that will lead to prosperity for all. We already have so much that unites us in terms of our language, our legal system, our time zones, and of course our intertwined cultures.
It is a great pleasure to be part of this notable event, which emphasizes the commitment of the federal government of Nigeria in conjunction with various stakeholders to map an economic recovery path post the COVID-19 pandemic. There is no doubt that the impact of the novel COVID-19 pandemic had been overwhelming, as evident in the slowdown of economic activities across the world. For Nigeria, it came on the back of the collapse of international oil prices, which, along with the necessary lockdown, further hampered the economic situation of the country. This led to a significant disruption of the supply chain, production and trade activities, as factories and plants were closed, while commercial activities and movement of goods and services within the country were severely constrained, culminating in job losses and downsizing by various businesses. Also, this impact had been significantly felt across various sectors, such as the agribusiness, healthcare, manufacturing, entertainment, tourism and hospitality, transportation sectors, amongst others. Of course, individuals, households, micro, small and medium-scale enterprises, MSMEs, and large corporations have not been spared from the effect of the crisis. This government recognizes foreign direct investment, FDI, especially inflows from diaspora Nigerians, as a key driver in achieving this recovery growth plan. This is because, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria hit $17.57 billion in direct remittance inflows from overseas in 2019. Hence, we are looking to leverage this summit to encourage more capital inflow as we affirm our commitment to improving the ease of doing business.
The federal government has announced new guidelines for international travelers coming to Nigeria, effective from September 18, 2020. Before departure, all travelers coming to Nigeria must take a COVID-19 PCR test at an accredited laboratory in the country of departure not more than 5 days before boarding. Only PCR tests will be accepted. Travelers with a PCR test result of more than 5 days or 120 hours or with COVID-19 symptoms will not be allowed to board. Within 3 days before boarding, register on the Nigeria International Travel Portal. Complete and submit the health declaration and self-reporting form online with a valid phone number and address. Update information on diplomats and children under age 10 separately. Next, upload the negative PCR test result on the portal. Choose a sample collection center and then book an appointment date where the mandatory self-isolation will be observed in Nigeria. Payment for the repeat PCR test to be done 7 days after arrival is to be made online on the portal, after which a QR code access report will be generated. It is strongly recommended that payment be made online before boarding. Payment on arrival in Nigeria can lead to long delays before exiting the airport. For issues with payment, visit saferport.com, My Traveler Record. On arrival in Nigeria, passengers are required to undergo port health screening and present electronic or printout QR code evidence. Travelers developing symptoms on arrival or during screening will be placed in institutional quarantine for appropriate care. From the airport, proceed to the 7-day mandatory self-isolation and avoid all physical interaction with others. During isolation, be available by telephone, as travelers will be monitored by public health officers and should check their emails and text messages regularly for updates from the selected laboratory for their repeat PCR tests. On day 7, have samples taken for the repeat PCR test at the selected sample collection center. Passengers are required to provide a valid means of identification. Travelers who test positive for COVID-19 will be managed based on national guidelines for treatment. Those who test negative after 7 days can end self-isolation. Be advised that those who fail to repeat the PCR test by day 14 may face suspension of their passports, inclusion on a travel no-fly list, or be denied international travel for 6 months. Get 24/7 support. Please take responsibility. This message is from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in collaboration with CACOVID.
Thank you for staying all through the program. We hope it's been worth your while. And in case you have anything to share with us, please do not hesitate to do so, as we expect feedback on our show. Remember, you can reach us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook at Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, on Twitter at nidcom_gov, on our Instagram page at nidcom_gov, on our YouTube page at nidcom_gov, and on our website at www.nidcom.gov.ng. You can also join us on DSTV at NTA Network on Friday at 10:30 a.m. on NTA International on Tuesday at 6 a.m. and 10:05 p.m., on NTA News 24 on Friday at 2:30 p.m. and on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. You can also join us on WAP TV on Thursdays at 9 a.m. and on WTV on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. You can also join us on Ben TV London at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. I remain your host, Consular Adetumbi. See you next time.